Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to SimTrax Broadcasting as we're coming to you live here with the National Oval Racing Association as we reach round two here tonight with these guys here in the Next Gen Cup cars. We are here at the Alabama Mile as well, this 2.5 mile track. Fantastic show we're going to see tonight. I guarantee we're going to see some side-by-side racing. Obviously, Talladega always brings up the big one. We'll see how many drivers it ends up taking out here. Unfortunately, I don't honestly rally cap for a wreck out there. I hope everybody does a great job tonight and puts down some awesome times and plenty of speed. I'm looking at the last time we were at this track. Drivers actually ended up finishing at race number 10. Vincent Arthur actually won this race last round, so fantastic job by Vincent Arthur. But speaking of Vincent Arthur, and I hate to kind of poke the bear here a little bit, Vincent Arthur has unfortunately dropped down in the points here tonight, and right now I believe he's currently sitting fourth here in the chase as he was number one before last race. And seeing how he is doing here, right now he has got to have a fantastic race here tonight. I'm definitely heavily concerned about the number 24 out there who's going to be looking to put down a solid job here. I even see out there in the chat. I appreciate you, Jay, for hanging out here in the chat with us again here tonight for another great race. Obviously, our Choose Cone car, Jacob Gladlick, is out there. Krista Weiss is hanging out there as well, rooting on the 08 for the Beer Money Racing team. And Jacob Malone, he's out there as well. This guy has won most of our playoff races here tonight. Now, Jacob Malone, last time he was at Talladega, led 19 laps here of this race. And I don't know if he can duplicate that yet again. It's going to be a very tough track. And drivers out in the lead are normally 9 times out of 10 are not your winners. Normally we'll end up seeing possibly a last lap pass, if not some awesome blocking from a lot of these professionals out there doing a great job and getting out front. Qualifying has just completed, so let's go ahead and take a look at what our race will consist of here tonight. As the track is being set, we had a little bit of wear on the track, not too much, just from a little bit from a previous race. So the rubber is not built up too much out there, and they're really going to have to take their time here tonight and put on the moves. With 113 laps ahead of these guys, this is going to be very difficult. Stages will be stopping our guys here at 36 and 72, and of course a 60% fuel limit. 4 sets of tires they'll have down there in the pits. I would probably say most of our guys will not be taking tires unless it's under a caution. I would not want to sacrifice that kind of time. Let's get in and out of the pit in 7 seconds rather than spending 14 and ending up at the back of the field, or worse yet, losing the draft. Once you see guys actually fall off pace and lose out there, they are going to be in a lot of trouble here tonight. Of course, there'll be fixed setups, no fast repairs, so these guys do not have another chance to go at it again. Once the big one happens, you're going to see a lot of guys down there to repair. I'll be your lead producer tonight here. Commentator actually was going to be Mr. Schneider. He is supposed to be out there on the track, and I don't know if he ended up getting hung up at work or whatnot, so he is it's going to be yours truly here for the entirety of this race, and of course race control will be Jacob Gladlick. I appreciate him out there. He always brings us a kind of a nail-biter at such an easy time on the track, especially when we see these guys do the choose cone. The guys can't seem to make up their mind until the very last minute. But 105-degree track temperature, tires should warm up here after a few moments, and they should be really rocking and rolling out there. Let's see if I can find a couple of our drivers out there who are getting ready to get onto the track. And let's take a look at our starting lineup here for tonight as we get ready to go here. Speaking of which, Vincent Arthur, remember earlier this season's winner, he's going to be starting in that number 1 spot next to Dustin Kleba. So glad to see Dustin Kleba returning back after his long-awaited departure has finally come back. Josh Conover sits third. Ryan Patty is our 4th place driver, moving us on to Brian Jones on the inside of row number 3. Notice I only have 2 drivers outside of the playoffs sitting in the top 5. Moving on to a driver who dropped below the line, Dakota Moniz will be sitting 6th, and Eric Kralik is 7th. Moving on to Thomas Walter, Tom Senchak, and Brady Moth rounding out our top 10, and Everett Couts on the inside of row number 6. Had a tough time last race as they seem to have made contact with the wall more than once. That's going to be pretty tough. Nick Geilis will be starting in the 12th position as we move through the rest of our field here. Joey Stats sits 13th. Dylan Banks, not bad. It kind of seems to be normal for Dylan Banks to start about mid-pack here. So 14th spot for him as he starts in row number 7. Moving on to Ryan Bird. Bird will be starting in that 15th spot. He's already way back. Rochelle sits 16th. Tom Harper 17th. And the number 69 machine, we'll see if the Beaver Nuggets can come in clutch again as the number 69 machine sits 18th. Jacob Malone, who's already won himself into the next round. This is going to be excellent for him, but I hate seeing how far he starts back. Let's see if his Ford can do it. Moving on to Cameron Thompson, Blade Timmons. Thompson just barely missed the points race in the last elimination round. Blade Timmons, he does a great job out here as well. I expect to see him somewhere top 5 if he doesn't get in the big one here tonight. Cody Height, we checked in on him, and anybody out there watching his stream as well, that would be a nice little piece that you can watch from inside and see exactly how they drive. Cody Eldred starts 22nd, Adam Kulikowski, and that moves us on to Nathan Brzezowski, who's 22nd. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not done. Let's keep on going, as right now I see Dakota Hendrickson sits 25th, Jake Christenberry 26th. Zach Hollinger, Matthew George, who's dropped below the line here. He's in trouble. Got to have a good finish here tonight. Braxton DeWeese, Cody Reeder, Cody Smith, Jacob Gladelick will be our choose cone, and Spencer Burton. Right now I'm showing starting from the pits will be our guy sitting on the pole here tonight is Vincent Arthur, so that is not going to be good for him to get this one started and underway. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys joining us here at Simtrax Broadcasting. Green flag is out here at Talladega, and away we go. Dustin Kleba gets a huge shove here from the 56 of Ryan Patty. Out front he goes. Great job here as we get this race started. All right, off the bat. Continuing on, Justin Kleba now sits in the number 1 spot. Josh Conover is second. Patty third. Brian Jones moves up 1 position to 4th. And Dakota Moniz now looking for that 2nd position gain. He's in up to 4th. Not bad. Most of our drivers are going to show at least 1 position gained here, as it looks like Vincent Arthur will be starting from the back of the field here. Hate to see it as we see Vincent Arthur. He was in the pink machine as you see him hitting that start-finish line, and I'm sure our choose cone and race control will be double-checking and make sure he didn't pre-launch out there and have an extra go at it. Out front is Dustin Kleba. Fantastic job here for Kleba as he gets out front, and he's going to lead a good majority of this race. I think everybody would enjoy following behind Kleba as he is a great driver who hangs out front and does not seem to cause many problems. Kleba, last time he was out here, led 25 laps at Dega, and we may be seeing almost a redo here at the beginning here of this race. Lap number 3 is underway. You start seeing a little bit of wiggling, and already on the move. Remember, I talked a little bit about Jacob Malone already starting from way back here in the pack. I hate to see where he is, but take a look at the sea of cars in front of him here as we take a look off the left front fender. Late Apex Racing Machine of Kyle Rochelle has been in some trouble this year. Also got off probation. He's been on some suspension issues, hanging out in 16th currently. Cameron Thompson's the one on the move as he's up 4. Now look who's breaking out to a 3rd lane here. Jacob Malone wants somebody to follow along with him. He may have to snug down just a little bit to the side of the cars in front of him, or otherwise he's going to lose a lot of speed, and he does. Gets right down close as we are 3 wide with the 41 machine at Cameron Thompson. Thompson, you're used to seeing him out there in the Tires Discounters machine, and he has changed up out there, especially his sponsor, and great job he is doing here so far. 3rd row is actually starting a little farther back as well as we get more in the chase copter cam. As we look here to the back, the number 20 is actually going to be anchor of that spot of Cody Smith. And right now I think Jacob Malone's about to get the shove of a lifetime here and let him know, hey man, you're not alone. Outside line is going to start getting a roll here. Not bad. Looks like that's going to be Braxton DeWeese out there in the 08 Ford. Right now, he's still on a great roll here as DeWeese would love to move up to the front. That gives him 7 positions. Now 8, continuing on. And once guys get on a roll, they really start picking up speed. Watch Jacob Malone. You're going to see this guy here in the lead in just a moment. But right now, quick little block off here is right now this may slow their roll as another driver gets out in front of Jacob Malone. I think somebody knows he's getting ready to get up to the front, and you might want to slow that guy down or he's going to be looking here at another possible win. That driver who jumped out front is the 48 of Dylan Banks. Banks now moving up. Banks now to 8th. Still moving right now. Jacob Malone now up 7. Great job here so far as all these drivers are kind of packing in against one another, and we still remain 3 wide. And guess who's stuck here in the center? Nick Gillis. And right now, I've talked to Gillis multiple times. I asked him where would he like to be on the track. He said anywhere but in the middle. But here he is. He's dropping down to the bottom. Here we go, playing it safe as he's out there in the Hooters machine, representing pink for the month of October. Great job, and appreciate him. And I bet all the people out there who support breast cancer awareness are appreciating his paint scheme as well. Still up front right now is not Dustin Kleba. Guess who? The 69 machine of Jacob Malone out to the lead here on lap number 5. Not bad. He dives away from Dylan Banks and away from Cody Smith. And unfortunately, they are actually starting to march backwards as the 2 drivers of Braxton DeWeese, Jacob Malone, and Dustin Kleba, 1, 2, and 3, all Fords have made it up to the front. Fantastic job. Checking back out there in the chat, seeing that Benjamin Lacey saying, dang, 3 wide on lap 3, gutsy, 110%. I got to admit, Benjamin Lacey, you may not be so sure or not like it, but man, let me tell you right now, nothing makes a race more exciting than seeing guys 3 wide here so early into the race rather than single file in this thing about 80 laps. That would definitely be a snooze fest. But right now we've got guys who want to move up to the front, and it's not working. Remember, I said Ryan Patty was originally shoving up front to get Dustin Kleba. Ryan Patty has actually dropped outside of the top 10 here. He's dropped way back, and it's right now currently sitting behind Cody Eldred in the number 15. Where's Tom Senchak, you may ask? He sits 8th. Right now, Senchak is still trying to find his way through, but Senchak is starting to stall out here a little bit as he's stuck right in the middle of this lower line. He's hanging out there with Aaron Krolick as well. Right now, I believe that is the number 1 that's sitting behind him, and I don't believe... Yes. So the 1 is behind him, and the 01 is in front of him. So a little confused at the driver selection here. I don't know the numbers if that is lining up correctly. And we're seeing who in the world that might be. But we'll continue on this roll here and see if anybody else can make up any sort of distance out there. As right now this is doing really well here so far. Oh, little wiggle here by the 26 machine, and the driver is losing a lot of positions here. Looks like he's riding the brakes. Is actually to be Everett Couts. I think something happened in front of him, and Couts actually is supposed to be in the 31. Right now the 31 machine has a full selection inside, outside, or the middle. He chooses all the way on the outside as he saw how Jacob Malone did it, and Malone still leads this race here on lap number 8. Not so bad, not too bad here so far, guys. Notice out there in the chat, you guys are getting pretty chatty out there. I love to see it. Definitely a race here at Talladega. Things can happen, but it looks like a full team call has been made here as Josh Conover drops to the back. Conover, another driver, needs to have a great night here as he's still on edge here. He would love to make it into the next round, but I've never seen where somebody does it and they call it. Right now I'm seeing smoke and drivers flying all over the track. I'm wondering if Josh Conover knew something was going to happen. Yeah, Lacey out there calling low line is probably best place to be. Everett Couts, Cameron Thompson, Nick Gillis, Eldred, and Moniz are our drivers caught up in this one. We'll see how many guys this collected in total. We'll see the amount of damage as they cross by. It looks like Cody Eldred is dealing with a boatload of damage out there. Let me see if we can get a drone footage. At least the tires are facing in the straight direction. I see the line on top of the steering wheel. He may still be okay, so they're going to have to really fix the front nose of that car and get him back out there. The driver this saves is Vincent Arthur, as he is extremely happy that this caution came out. Remember, he was way off pace trying to catch back up. And this will allow Vincent Arthur to gain back to the front. All right, let's check in on Cody Eldred and see what caused this yellow flag here. Our first one here, unscheduled of the night. See contact with the wall. Looks like the 93 of Christenberry, and it causes a stack up front. 93 hooks into the wall, and that just collects everybody. Look at Blade Timmons dropping down in the 23. Great idea. Get out of there. Right now, I'm showing the 41 at Cameron Thompson's actually down pit road currently. for 53 seconds. This will send him to the back of the line, as pit road should have been closed at the time he came in. So we'll see. Max Exodus here, everybody coming down pit road. And we'll let you know I'll let you know if there are any tires being taken as we take another look at this and see what happens. There's the contact. And this is Cameron Thompson, the 15, trying to shoot the gap. No can do. There's nowhere to go. Yeah, I can't point fingers of 15 of Cody Eldred if he hadn't sent it through there. That he may have made it out of there. So a driver like Adam Kulikowski might be a great driver to take a look at and see what he sees from his angle out there on the track. Let's take another look. All right, you see the stack up. Here's the spin. Ooh. A little too hard there for Kulikowski. He might have been a little nervous to contact that wall because he was afraid he wasn't going to be able to slow down. So that does take a couple of drivers and leave them down pit road. Dakota Moniz, Brady Moats, odd driver. It looks like he ended up with some damage, especially there on that left front door. Cameron Thompson, Eldred, Zach Hollinger, he ended up with some damage as well. Let's check in on the 88 as I see him crooked sitting currently in his pit box. We'll see if we can find out anything that may have happened to him, as the GoDaddy machine is in trouble. If you are a Chevrolet fan, this is not your deal. As Moniz, Moats, Thompson, Eldred, Hollinger, and Everett Couts, all in Chevrolets, sitting currently down pit road. All right, our driver, Cody Reeder, is already a couple laps down here. Getting into this one, we'll see if any drivers decide to re-elect and come back down pit road. Dustin Kaleba is one of them. I think for a quick splash and go, checking most of our times in the pits. Braxton Deweese is the only one who ended up taking tires. Tom Senchak may have taken a set of left sides. Adam Kulikowski looks like he took 4 as well. So coming back down pit road, our leader, Jacob Malone, had dropped down to 6th. Jacob Gladelick looking like he is going to get away unscathed here tonight. At least it was a lot better picking spot than I think they did at Watkins Glen. They kind of caught him around a blind corner. Right now he's can start saying, I'm on the start-finish line. You can't miss me. Oh, great job out there by Jacob Gladelick. Really appreciate him all year, if you consider that as one of our drivers has elected to be the choose cone each and every race out here tonight. I knew we transferred from a smaller car, and we got him more into a next-gen machine, so it definitely suits him a lot better. And we'll definitely see how this one gets going. Drivers are double stacked up behind the pace car again. Hopefully that truck does not get a huge workout here tonight. Oddly enough, when Josh Conover dropped back, Conover came in for fuel and back out and now sits in 6th. So that is a pretty wild turn of events. Excellent job here. All right, checking out Josh Conover. Currently sitting 6th. Finished 28th with 5 laps led earlier this season. And I do like throwing it back, as most people race almost the exact same way they have earlier in the year, if not the previous year. They stay with that chassis. They stay with the same setup. Everybody knows who they need to find out there, and then they all work together and get their way up to the front. But a lot of guys are trying to turn over their bad luck. Ryan Ferraro ended up 31st. Harville ended up 30th. I mean, these are guys who, you normally expect to see have a great finish. And some of them are just having a harder time. Back under green, update on pit road. Dakota Moniz down there for the last 4.5 minutes. Hopefully we'll see Moniz rotate back into the turn here if he can get back out onto the track. Let's take a look at our leaders up front. Good push there by Cody Smith as he gets not only was he helping Deweese out there and was he helping Jacob Malone get to the front, but now it looks like Dylan Banks is going to get out front there with Cody Smith. Ryan Petty now sits third. Blade Timmons sits, and he's, I think, fighting for third as I think he clears Ryan Petty. Josh Conover, Spencer Burton. Remember, Burton, he started almost, I think, dead last here tonight. Currently sitting fifth. So the number 10 Chevrolet, awesome job here. Right now showing me currently 28 positions gained. Smith up 29. So these guys are really flipping the field here. And right now, out front is Dylan Banks in the 48 Chevrolet. Now, right now, I'm only showing Josh Conover as our only playoff driver currently sitting in the top 5. Ryan Petty sneaking just on the outside. The 56 machine trying to buy himself a little bit of space out there as he doesn't want to get caught up in the next big one. Everybody's starting to get a little dicey up toward the front. Great racing here so far, though. We got a couple of guys trying to move around. Conover in danger falling out of the top 5. But only 13 laps into this one, not so bad. As we've got a few more guys out there still trying to figure out if their car is drivable, especially with the amount of fall off and the amount of aerodynamic damage. With the big one actually happening there that involved at least 7 cars. These guys seemed a little hesitant about going back up and crushing up yet again. Tim Harper might be one of them. He's currently sitting in the 20th spot. Vincent Arthur starting from the pits, getting an extra oomph here. Gets up to the 22nd position. He's looking to see if he can fight his way back to the front. Great run coming off of 2 here. Now he's going to try to see if he can reach up and grab a hold. I believe that is Dustin Kleba there on the outside line. Right now, I think the Venku team is getting ready to link up here. Watch the 16 of Kleba go up and grab a hold of Cody Reeder out there. Remember, Reeder is actually down, I believe, 2 laps here. 3 to be exact. And unfortunately, it'll take a few cautions to roll through to get it. I believe Everett Couts is down a lap as well as Brady Moats. So outside, Cody Reeder goes. Dustin Kleba slices back to the inside. So deciding not to play it safe, stays behind Dakota Hendrickson. Let's rotate up to the front and check on our Beaver Nuggets here. Jacob Malone sitting 7th. Joey Stats with Beer Money Racing should be sitting right behind him. Looks like those guys are finally coming together. Where Braxton Deweese, Joey Stats, and Jacob Malone are finally all going to meet each other and hopefully work together. This gives these guys an excellent opportunity here. Malone now 7th. Kristen Berry, who was actually part of that wreck that happened. He was the one who hooked the wall out there. And the Jordan car. Right now, his Toyota is sitting in the 5th spot. As he's working to get past Spencer Burton, who's currently on the outside line. Malone doesn't like slowing down, so he gives the 10 a shove. Right now, nose to tail here on the outside line. Jacob Malone knows what that Taco Bell's all about. And he's trying to see if he can get him up to the front. Right now, Spencer Burton about to get out into the lead here. Dylan Banks still working on it here with Cody Smith. Now, Cody Smith has been known to make a couple follies out there and end up in a little bit of trouble. We are getting ready to actually start separating the field. Cody Height, the last one in this front pack. We moved to Aaron Krolick, who's caught up right in the center as he is trying to make a breakaway here from Brian Jones. But this is really not working out very well for some of these drivers out there. I believe returning to the track is going to be Dakota Muniz. As the drivers fly by him at over 190 miles an hour, we still wait for his gearing to help get him up to speed. Outside line for Vincent Arthur in group number 2. This should help link these guys all back together. And that is one thing different about the next-gen cars. And when we rotate back to the 87s, 87 drivers are more about driving all for yourself. These are more pack racing. Let's see how this goes. I believe that is Nathan Brzezowski. No, it is not. That is actually Cody Height. I expected to see him in the Sunny D machine, but he is not here tonight. So not bad here by Cody Height. In Jonesboro, Tennessee. Not too far away. Probably run into this guy at a Walmart. Jay out there is asking if the paints of the Venku team are reversed. Not bad. Good eye. Still out in the lead is Spencer Burton. I expect Jacob Malone to probably break away here and drop to the bottom. And that may give Nick Geilis some trouble, as Geilis is here on the bottom. He has also gotten out front of Dylan Banks. Banks, who had the lead, drops down to 5th. And Talladega can make or break some guys' races out here. And some guys have a good time. Some guys have a hard time. And a lot of drivers you see who are up front get taken out. Drivers even in the back can end up in the front. Or they can get taken out too, who knows. We've seen them send it full speed through there. A driver we're missing out there is actually going to be Tyler DeTalent. Haven't seen that driver out here in a little bit. Hopefully he's able to get everything squared away for his racing career here with NORA. Right, here the outside line. Notice how they're starting to separate just a little bit here. Getting ready to conclude lap number 19. Huge gap between our guys here in the front and coming down pit road. Huge slew of cars. Brandon Banks, Cody Height, Josh Conover, Blade Timmons, Vincent Arthur, Cameron Thompson, and Matthew George. So if I want to shorten that up, I could say all the Flatline Motorsports drivers have come down into pit road. And that should be a cue out there for some of our guys saying you do not have enough fuel to make it to lap number 36. We are single file all the way up here to the front. And I would probably say somebody's getting ready to make a move. Jacob Malone to the outside. Malone now drops from 2nd now to 4th, and this almost seems voluntary. Yeah, great drive by here. Smith starting to split off. And if I was a driver like Smith and I notice I'm coming down alone, the first thing I would do is get back onto the track and try to catch the end of the draft, because this is not going to help him if he tries to get back out there on the track. Let's take another look up toward the front. Right now, a couple of guys would love to sneak their way up to the front, Zach Hollinger being one of them. Hollinger was pretty close to that wreck that we saw. The number 15 currently sitting behind him. And the 15 of Cody Eldred as a driver who was involved in the wreck that we saw back on lap number 8. So we still have a chance here of guys moving up to the front and guys who are going to be coming down pit road. I think everybody's going to try to stretch it out another lap or so from this clutch of cars, and they'll get back at it. Interested to see how it all works out, though, when they do come down pit and then the two groups merge yet again. Originally, we were seeing about a 2-second gap between the backfield and the front clutch of drivers. And it looks like they have all met up. And here toward the front now, somebody who has to trust to the call that these guys have made has got to be Vincent Arthur. Remember, Vincent Arthur ended up coming down the same time they did. He would love to fight his way to the front. And I believe that is the number 20 of Cody Smith, so he may be saved by the bell here. Has a quick fuel and go, and back out he went. Looks like everybody just fuel and back out onto the street. And they're going to go back at it again. Still staying out on the track, Zach Hollinger leading the race now in the 88 Chevrolet. That gives him 26 gained on the night. Gaining 20 is Cody Eldred, who's sitting 2nd, and Braxton DeWeese up 26, sitting 3rd. Right now, the only Toyotas up in the top 10 sit Jake Christenberry and Ryan Patty. Mostly Fords in the top 10 because Zach Hollinger and Cody Eldred are all Chevrolets. And that is not good for our Chevy drivers as they have marched off the track here. And they populate all the way from 32nd up to the 15th spot. So Fords and Toyotas getting up to the front. Adam Kulikowski sitting 14th. And we are still single file here. Nobody choosing to come down pit road still. Which is a very interesting call here as why the other guys from Flatline Motorsports have come down so early. far. Almost a second separates first through 10th. A second and a half. Guys need to start squeezing together, otherwise they get lost. And one driver, Nick Gillis, is going to be the guy who has to do it. Right now he's got to reel in Adam Kulikowski here. He may have the draft position, but it is not working to his advantage here. Here we go. Gillis starting to reel in Kulikowski a little bit now. He was 4/10 down. Now he's only a quarter second behind. Interesting to see these guys hang out on the track so long. But fortunately, we do have a stage break at 36. So about 12 laps left to go here. We will be under caution for a scheduled caution. Talladega, so this is working out pretty well. Let's check in on our guys who ended up pitting early, who about 24 seconds off pace. And they're working on trying to reel them in. Right now, I do have to admit, with Dylan Banks in the front, they are actually catching our guys up front. As I take a look at Spencer Burton up there, let me see if I can get the battle box to work here. This is the amount of time that they are starting to cut away at the time on Spencer Burton up front. So right now, leaps and bounds is how close Dylan Banks is catching up to Spencer Burton. Only 22 seconds behind and breaking below that. Right now, it's currently showing 20 for Dylan Banks to catch him here. But this should ring a bell for all our guys out there if we take a look at it. Pit road time is average about 32 seconds as a fueling go. If the front pack does decide to come in and pit for fuel, these guys may be losing a boatload of stage points, as all a flat line will most likely be up toward the front. So that is definitely a heartbreaker for those 5 drivers. I don't know. It doesn't look like Matthew George sped in pit. He's currently 27th. And Cody Height is as well, sitting 28th. Seems maybe a little bit of a miscue there. So these two couple of drivers are getting at it. And then we find Height and Couts. Right now, they do go down a lap. Zach Hollinger is in front. Expect to see a pit here pretty soon. Now, oddly enough, to see him still hanging out there. I figure that's why Flatline is pit sooner than later. That is Tom Senchak there on the top line. You want to give it out there to our drivers for only one caution here back on lap number 8. Said it involved about 7. The biggest ones were Couts, Thompson, Gillis, Eldred, and Moniz. Saw Kulikowski as we took a ride along with him make contact with the wall. As we get over top, we're starting to see that outside line beginning to form. Jacob Malone starting to work his way there on the outside. You see him in the red and yellow car down on the bottom of our screen. So far, he's holding on to it pretty well. Trying to see if there are any extra out there. Alrighty. Jay out there in the chat, or anybody else who out there is still watching, have I fixed that buffering problem that we had last week? I'm hoping we have, being able to increase our kilobits here of output here to YouTube. That way it's for your viewing enjoyment. Everything should look a lot better. I think we had a little bit of a hiccup when it came through with the hurricane last week. All right. As I mentioned Hurricane here. I was thinking we'd have a bunch of drivers coming down. Only Zach Hollinger, Cody Eldred, Spencer Burton, and Dakota Hendrickson. 3 owners out there coming down. And that's going to put Tom Senchak into the lead. Fortunately, it does put Cody Height back onto the lead spot, as he has unlapped himself, getting out in front of Tom Senchak. So still making up that room. Remember, I said Dylan Banks was behind almost 20 some odd seconds. Not too bad now, only down 19, so still reeling them in 2 to 3 seconds at a time. But can this front pack make it all the way to lap number 36? I don't know. Jay out there says he normally blames it on the internet. That could have been a possibility. I knew some adjustments. Like I said, I have made some adjustments. And I think there was too much overload out there to send out a good quality picture out there. So we made readjusted, and here we are looking good. Fortunately, if I'm not mistaken, checking out there, I believe Stella will be returning soon. I believe she is returning back from her Europe trip. We should see her resuming back to her position after she gets rid of the jet lag. Back in the booth here for a couple of races here at the end of this season. All right, Brian Jones, Braxton DeWeese, Tom Senchak, Dustin Kleba, and Kyle Rochelle sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, and now number 5. Rochelle has moved himself up to. All Ford sitting top 3, followed by the 2 Chevrolets. Rochelle on the outside has plenty of room to move there. As you can see, Dustin Kleba trying to grab a little bit of that lower draft there to see if he can get some help to help pull him up to the front, and that seems to work. That's going to put Cody Height still, if I'm not mistaken, still, I think might be still a lap down here. I'm not sure. Cody Height's still working on it, though. You see him there on the inside line. All right, now, great job here so far. 22 viewers I see out there watching this race. I should see 22 you guys out there chatting it up with me out here as lap number 33 is underway. Only a few more laps, less than a handful, and we will be going to stage break. Oddly enough, this is going to be amazing for our guys if they are able to make it here around the track. Whoop, little disconnect there by Rochelle. Terrible time to be doing it. That would definitely catch some of our guys that are laps down. They will continue this race going laps down. Like I said, Moniz needs to have a great finish here tonight, or he's going to be really in panic mode, trying to come up with an answer for what has been going on with his race car for the past few weeks. Taking a look out there, Dakota Moniz is 8 points below the line in the 05 machine. Jake Christenberry's 5 below the line, Cody Height below 3. And the one who's down the most is Matthew George, who ended up making it into the playoff chase via points. No win for him, as he sits currently 12th here in the run. No fear, he still has time. As next week, he's got to really show up. Next week we will be at the Roval. These guys will be road coursing it and try to beat him out to the end. Lap number 35 underway. Once we cross the line for 36, that's going to mark for stage break. So right now, the 69 machine that Jacob Malone would love to get a couple extra points here and squeeze in. Top 4 drivers are not in the playoffs here. Bird is, and beyond, all the way back to Senchak. Right now, we should see all our green and guys in blue out there in the numbers should be fighting their way up to the front. All driver green numbers mean they're in the playoffs. Blue means they're locked into the next round. Red means we're below the line. Everybody in yellow is not in the chase. Right now, trying to see If he can stay out front, I think Cody Reeder's going to be able to keep a lap ahead. As Brian Jones and Braxton DeWeese, Ryan Patty 1, 2, and 3 at the line. Not bad. So this is a huge gain here for Ryan Patty, as this helps him out immensely. Right now, Ryan Patty is currently sitting 8th here, which is unfortunately is right above the line. He's only 3 above the line. This will give him some much-needed points he's going to be using here tonight. Excellent job. But it does make you question why in the world the Flatline Motorsports guys came in. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. Alrighty. Start seeing pit road heat up again. Some drivers came down on 9 and 10. Others came down on 19 and 20. And drivers like Nick Gillis came down on lap 33. Sacrificed his position up front. And I don't expect to see him pit. I know we've talked to many drivers before that when you get to a 1.5 mile track, you try to offset pit and see if you can change something. But not here really at Talladega. Normally you want to do this as a family event. Everybody comes down pit road at the same time, and then you fight it out there on the track. But as you can see, that did not work for the Flatline Motorsports guys, as they're working their way back down pit road again. And they'll be kind of scratching their heads a little bit here. We'll try to see if we can grab a hold of a driver here from Flatline Motorsports and see if we can get maybe some insight on what happened out there and what the call might have been. Alrighty. There they go, peeling out, getting back out there. Looks like Cody Height still remains out there on the track, as well as Brady Moats. And these guys, once they get the wave around, they're going to try to hurry around and probably come down and pit. But that is still going to leave them very offset from the rest of the field. Alrighty. Well, we'll see if we can grab a hold of a driver down there. From the Flatline Motorsports crew, we'll see if we can find Josh Conover out there. Josh Conover, you got a copy?
I got you, sir.
All righty, buddy. Well, talk to me about the Flatline Motorsports pit call there earlier here in the run.
That one was actually a, we call him Vinny Canals, but Vincent Arthur call there. I thought we were going to try and save it, and he wanted to kind of pit early and just push hard till the end of the stage. And, you know, those guys that came in and topped off saved enough and made it. So it is what it is. I'm not here for stage points. I'm here for the end of the race and have a shot to win it. So when they got 3 wide on like lap 5, that was enough for me to bow my hat out of the ring.
Well, it was oddly enough that you did back out of it on the backstretch, and not but turn 3 we were in a wreck. So that was good call. I would say everybody's trying to make this race pretty interesting up front. You guys do a heck of a job out there driving. Just a little clip to the wall there from Mr. Christenberry, and that ended up causing a little bit more trouble out there for some of the other drivers. And we see you coming back down pit road. I'm assuming this is another lap for top off.
Yeah, I don't think I'll do much. I think those guys only got like maybe half a gallon, but this way now I got to lead my teammates or something. I had that little bit extra fuel to let them save, and I can kind of run out front a little bit.
All right, excellent. All right, so what is the lookout here for Flatline Motorsports, and how do you guys work your way to the front? I saw Beer Money Racing working their way on the outside, as well as KPR, and they all ended up getting up front to the lead using that 3 wide and that high line. I mean, is that something you guys are considering this early into the race, is getting out front and controlling, or do we kind of hang back and let this one unfold?
I know Vinny said he wanted stage points. Like I said, I'm kind of here for the finish. Stage points aren't really my thing at super speedways, just because, you know, the risk of the big one and some damage. I think if we get hooked up, though, we're one of the better teams as far as just being able to hook up and go. We've kind of proved that almost every super speedway. We'll see. Anything can happen. We could take this green flag and get separated and never find each other for the rest of the run. So we'll see. Hopefully we keep our noses clean, and never hurts to have some more friends.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. There's one way to make friends, and there's one way to make enemies, and that's at a super speedway. But man, what an interesting race this has become. Josh Conover, good luck to you out there, buddy, and hopefully we'll see the McDonald's machine get up there and try to lead some more laps.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because somebody made a comment about the fast food wars. I think Spencer's running Taco Bell, and I said, yeah, I was running McDonald's. I wasn't bringing out a fresh piece that looks nice and pretty and all done up just to get it destroyed.
Yeah, well, hopefully that doesn't happen, man. I would definitely say we got a couple menaces up front, but we'll see. We'll see if they can keep their noses clean. Good luck to you, Josh.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, everybody, that is catching up with our driver of Josh Conover in the 42 Chevrolet, rookie here in the Next Gen Cup Series. To get this one started, let's take a look here as we get back under green. Ryan Patty into the lead. Looks like he gets a decent jump there, but he needs Ryan Bird behind him to give him a shove, because the outside line has started to form and they started working a lot better together. I think the 22 of Nathan Brzezowski is a little concerned about trying to push the VenQ team members up here toward the front. They may be a little hostile up toward the front as they want to work their way and get aggressive. But I don't know if if Brzezowski is really interested in getting in this kind of a mix. So keep an eye on that white and blue car with the pink rims. He may be getting a little wobbly as you see him trying to push Brian Jones up to the front, but might be getting a little bit bouncy. Yeah, you kind of see him weaving there, and we've seen many times. If you tuned in here to Simtrax Broadcasting, this is a absolute recipe for disaster out there. So hopefully it does not cause any problems. And right now, Nathan Brzezowski hopefully is hovering that left foot to forget about the clutch and start using that brake here and try to see if he can settle that car down at some point. Not bad here as we still remain too wide, rotating back just a hair as we take a look at Vincent Arthur and Jacob Malone now going at it. These two are definitely starting to work on it. They are nose to tail. And out front, yep, that's going to be a bump. Brzezowski decides to go ahead and kick to the outside there of Brian Jones. Jones splits down to the bottom. That's going to allow Ryan Patty to gain some room. And Patty and Bird up to the front, still moving on. Brzezowski has a full face of fresh air up in the nose of the car, but this looks like everything is A-OK. Right now, Jay out there saying he thinks right now Rochelle's blinking. And we hope not, as Rochelle currently sitting in 11th. Right now, a couple of guys are starting to shift there in the backfield. Lane Timmons sitting 14th. And you kind of hear almost a separation there between the Flatline Motorsports gang. Normally, they work very well together. But right now, Josh Conover not interested about stage points. He could use some, but Vincent Arthur likes getting the stage points because even if he doesn't win, he's already sneaking himself into the finals via points. And I got to admit, I may have to side a little bit with Vincent Arthur out there, as every point right now here during the playoffs matter. Vincent Arthur has been falling backwards. If he was able to get somewhere like a top 5 finish there for the stage, that could have really helped him out here. Instead of finishing in the back 20. So unfortunately that is going to continue to hurt Vincent Arthur, but not as bad as what we're seeing kind of mixing up right here. Vincent Arthur figures out he's got to get out of the way. Brzezowski looks like he's becoming the roadblock. Moves up towards the front as Jacob Malone slices underneath of him. And not only does Jacob Malone move, but it looks like it is going to be Cody Smith. So a lot of camera time out here for the 69 Ford of Jacob Malone. Brian Jones is now marching out. He's sitting outside line, and it looks like Brzezowski's going to go up here and meet him once again. Let's move up to the front where Aaron Kralik now sits 4th. Kyle Rochelle in the Chevrolet sits 5th. And we are finally being led by a Toyota of Ryan Patty, who still remains out front. But it looks like Bird splitting off to the side. Patty, and noticing that is going to be the kind of move you're going to see at the end of the race as they shoot to the line to complete lap number 42, 43. That's going to go to Ryan Bird, who cleared up front. Not bad, as though he's getting a lead lap here, though. Right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Malone and Vincent Arthur rounding out those top 5. But Bird, Senchak, and Rochelle, 1, 2, and 3. Not bad. Drivers we haven't seen a whole lot of here tonight. Bird kind of was up front there for most a good part of the night, and then ended up marching way back. Senchak, he's been fighting his way up to the front. And Kyle Rochelle, we saw him there on the inside of Jacob Malone there for a moment. Earlier here in the race, but now Rochelle's up to third. So not bad, but drivers who are unfortunately down is Josh Conover, down 17. Brian Jones, we saw him up toward the front. The 18 machine has dropped down to 22nd. That drops him down now 17 positions now, and he is still working his way, trying to figure out if he can work his way back up to the front. Nick Gillis, 26th position here as he's way back here. And hopefully this does not cost him. Let's see how that battle for the lead's going, as it looks like Jacob Malone's getting a breakaway from his own guy out there who's been helping him all night, of Cody Smith. I expect to see these two possibly consider start joining forces out there with the Beer Money Racing team and see if Cody Smith might find another home out there. As I know right now, he has been working very closely out there with Jacob Malone most of this race. Will this continue to grow a different path for these guys? Possibly. Will it last? I don't know. I'd say when it comes down to the last lap, every man for himself, and no one really looks back after that. It takes a strong teammate and a guy who knows he's going to make it into the next round to push his teammate to a win. All right, Rochelle's starting to do some blinking there out in front of Vincent Arthur. Race Control's got his eyes on him. Doesn't look like the blinking is bad enough. Rochelle dropping off the table. Got to be pretty careful here. Only lap number 45 out of 113. We're getting ready to complete this one. Choose cone car, enjoying some time, sitting down in the pits. Hopefully the engine's off. I think that was a little joke that Christian Snyder was saying last week, as he left the engine running on the truck and ended up blowing it up. There's not enough airflow going through the radiator in these cars to really support any kind of idle time. All right, Rochelle, big blink again. Looks like we lost him for about 2 dash lines out there, and he comes back. I think the big concern is when he starts getting over the 7 or 8 marks missed. And look at how close Jacob Malone gets to Vincent Arthur before he slings around him. So Smith and Malone getting ready to slide down. Great job here. And it almost, I don't know how these guys aren't under some sort of communication out there. But I am not currently seeing them kind of bunched up in any kind of a team channel. Everybody's splitting apart here, as we've got a little bit there between Christenberry and the back of Joey Stats. But we look even farther back, and that's where we find Spencer Burton. Spencer Burton still trying to work his way up to the front. See if he can do a little something more out there. All right, Jacob Malone has regained the lead up front as we've been rotating our way toward the back. Cody Smith now sitting second. Smith down to the bottom. This will allow Vincent Arthur to get in an aerodynamic bubble. Quick pull up. Vincent Arthur going to get a shove. Excellent job. Malone should lead at the line here. Wow. Great racing here so far. I would say even with these guys side by side, mistakes can happen. And Malone leaves Vincent Arthur out there after Smith covered up front. I would say if Smith moved down on purpose, that's a great call, because now he's blocking the low line. Vincent Arthur now trying to make up the distance on the outside. Malone about to lose the lead here for a moment, as Vincent Arthur looked like he had a run. Backing off is Dustin Kaliba. Remember, Kaliba dropped all the way back and has fought himself back up to the front. Not bad. I would say Talladega, there aren't many tracks that you can actually fall back on into the back 20 and fight your way back up to the front in a matter of 8 laps and come away with the lead, if not the win. If you don't believe me, take a look back at the last race that Dale Earnhardt won here at Talladega. got beat 18th on, came away with the win with 8 to go. That was definitely a nail-biter all the way there to the end. And I believe Junior won after his death next time they came to Talladega. Excellent race here so far. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Simtrax Broadcasting. We're bringing you the best in iRacing in the palm of your hand or your TV screen. If you guys are looking to sponsor any races, sponsor NORA, sponsor a car, definitely you know who to reach out to. Get a hold of Jacob Malone or any of the other admins out here. Some other ones being Josh Conover, Joey Stats, Cody Height, even our Choose Code car. Let me tell you, the Drift King out there, I'm sure he's got plenty of time. Jay out there saying he thought it was Daytona. Fact check. Jacob Malone out front. Cody Smith sitting second. Ryan Bird third. We are 3 wide here in the back, and that being led by Vincent Arthur. I believe they all decided to stay to the outside because drivers are coming down into pit now. Malone, Smith, Ryan Patty, Braxton DeWeese, Joey Stats, Drake Christenberry. All right, so Beer Money Racing deciding to come on down lap number 51. Last time these guys all pit was back on lap 36. So it starts giving you an idea of how far the fuel window is for these drivers. So Vincent Arthur, who won stage points, now has the lead. Josh Conover still remains in 18th, about 5 seconds off pace here. So my big guess here is that the Flatline Motorsports gang, the majority of them are hanging here in the back. Just ticking off laps. I expect to see them come alive probably around lap 85, 90. We'll see these guys working and fighting their way up to the front and then starting to make the block. Conover looks like he's giving a push here. Up to the front, so that is not looking too hot there. As the number 1 car of Everett Couts out there getting a lot of wiggling. All right, let's check back in on our leaders. Vincent Arthur, Dylan Banks sitting 1 and 2. Blade Timmons sits 3rd. And you want to talk about a full sweep here. Check out how many Chevrolets are up front now. So, all right. Looks like the Chevrolets are starting to run out of fuel. Down they come. Tom Senchak, one of them to be watching. Look at the lockup. Drivers slinging into pit as fast as they can. Driver who gained a couple of positions was Tim Harper, who was able to brake check much later. Ooh, yeah, a little contact there with Thomas Walter and the North Star Designs. And they'll be double checking all the pit stops here tonight, making sure they are in the box and where they are supposed to be, not driving through too many. Coming back out of pit, Tim Harper a little slow on the exit. So he gained positions coming into pit, loses them coming out of pit. 8.5 seconds for him. Everybody else was by a second faster than that. So that's going to create more trouble out there. Let's check and see how many other drivers are coming down pit. This is probably going to be most of our guys. A huge switch as Spencer Burton, Guylis, Brady Motes, and Josh Conover decide to stay out. Interesting for Conover to deviate from plan A, as he still remains out there on the track. Woo. Everett Couts looking to work his way out there, as the number 3, Nick Guylis, slings to the outside. There's Motes. Motes in the 19 starting to push. As I take a look at our chase here, Brady Motes was below the line. He has now moved himself into the 7th position in the 19 machine. He's 11 points above the line. Good finish tonight. Will continue that role for him. And that is Brady Motes and Josh Conover making it in. And Conover was able to make the pass on his own teammate heading into pit. Drivers who still remain out there are Spencer Burton and Nick Guylis. And I believe Cameron Thompson, I think, is another driver who has yet to come in since lap 36. But Cameron Thompson is now working his way in, but man, oh man, is he off pace. So he's going to have some trouble reeling these guys in. Zach Hollinger is another driver who hasn't come in. Lap number 36 is the last time he was in. So the way these guys definitely keep working out there and trying to make things happen is something else. All right, these three drivers that we have our camera on now have yet to pit, and all three of them should be coming down this time. Not wasting any time. This should be the last of our guys. Everett counts down a couple laps here and would like to make up some ground. So that should put our drivers of Ryan Patty, Ryan Bird, Tom Senchak, Aaron Krolick, and Kyle Rochelle back into the lead here. I believe Vincent Arthur will be rounding out our top 10. Quick move out there for Vincent Arthur. Zach Hollinger showing he still is yet to come down pit road. Last time he was down there for almost 2 minutes. As Hollinger ended up dealing with some more damage out there and trying to get that thing fixed up. All right. Great roll here so far. 113 laps need to be complete. Kyle Rochelle looks like he's on the outside line here. Hopefully the blinking doesn't continue as he snugs up behind the 0-1 here of Aaron Krolick. Krolick currently sitting second. 3 wide, Venku team outside. KPR Motorsports, here they come. We have just broken over our halfway point of this race. Bunch of lead changes here tonight. As Aaron Krolick gets a huge jump out front. And yeah, he's going to pay for that. Now as everybody's starting to reel him in, this is going to be some trouble here as he heads down the backstretch. Justin Kleba outside line's got the lead. Contact with the wall. Looks like a little scrub there, possibly by the 17 machine of Cody Reeder. We've talked to Reeder a few times here over the course of this season. He has definitely been able to end up keeping these guys all together. And with his fuel strategies, has ended up being able to win him some races out here. We see them shooting at the line. Right now it still goes to our KPR Motorsports of Dustin Kleba and Cody Reeder. I think Kleba may be more excited than I am, or than the rest of the field, that his teammate has returned. They are finally back together doing some work. Outside line. Trying to come up with something out there. It's amazing when the outside line can push guys out to the front, but then absolutely die and start moving backwards. Cody Eldred, as soon as he lost that lead cars, he is unfortunately fallen back as he works on the outside of Thomas Walter. Thomas Walter here not doing too bad as we sit shotgun with him. This is taking a ride with the 57 Chevrolet. And something to watch how much these guys wiggle on this track compared to what we see overhead. Better than taking a vehicle that's out of control and trying to bring it into control, as these guys are topping over 195 miles an hour out there. As we see Thomas Walter about to end up with a little bit of a gap here. That should help him reel in the driver of the number 24 car, Vincent Arthur. Kleba, Rochelle, and Jones setting all 1 through 4. Krolick are only one in the top 3. Right now, if Krolick were able to come away with a race win, I think he would lose his mind. See a couple of guys are running different speeds out here depending on their position. Right now, here's Vincent Arthur sitting at 195 miles an hour. That's still cooking. still cooking, although you see him tucking up behind Jacob Malone. This may be putting Ryan Jones back in the lead here in just a moment. See if we can get a little bit closer of a chase copter cam here. There we go. Right now, Jones nudged 196 there for a moment, as I think he got a huge shove there from Malone. 197. Boy, they say some of the top speeds out here are touching almost 208 miles an hour. That's definitely really good for some of the drivers who like to get out front. Jacob Malone gets left alone. So now this middle lane's starting to crumble. But who comes in to save the day? Aaron Kralik. Kralik saving the day as he sits right behind him here. Checking on the anchor of this push crew here, looking back. That should be Kyle Rochelle currently sitting behind the man. Even if they don't make contact for a push draft, the third car in line at least needs to get low enough where that rear spoiler can take the air off the nose of that car. Now allow him to get up to the front. Speaking of in front, Vincent Arthur sitting third, Dustin Kleba up to second now, and Brian Jones is number 18 Ford, sitting in the number 1 spot. Big shift out back here. Because right now Ryan Bird is shuffling here with the top 5. In and out, in and out, in and out. Ryan Bird led 5 laps last time at Talladega to finish 21st. I'll look for another Ryan Patty. Patty has fallen all the way down to 10th. He led 6 laps and finished 3rd. Right now, I think some of these guys would love to have a good 1-2 out there. Love to see if Malone can beat Vincent Arthur this time here at Dega. But the Alabama Mile does not disappoint. Plenty of drivers out here, plenty of guys doing a couple of different moves out here. I would say, I think that is, who's that on the outside line? Now, there's a driver on the outside line here who ended up falling backwards. That would be Zach Hollander. Sitting now 27th. He had a 9.72 pit stop time. That's going to hurt. He had started falling back. He goes down a lap here. The guys who are offset pitting are noticing this isn't working. All right, so far, checking out here. As drivers who have taken it back to the garage is only one of them. Dakota Moniz in the 05 Chevrolet was unable to recover after the lap 8 caution. So he is taking it back to the garage. Dakota Hendrickson needs some laps back as he is down about 2 laps out there. Everett Couts and Cody Reeder as well. And then only down a single lap goes to Cameron Thompson, Zach Hollinger, Spencer Burton, and Cody Height. Alrighty, somebody's coming down pit road now. Ooh, decided against it. And that's what I'm talking about. When you notice nobody's following you, get back up to speed. And Dustin Kleba doing just that. Just like a jet missing the aircraft carrier. You got to be at full speed and get back up. So unfortunately, Kleba drops down to 14th, but fortunately this will not kill his race. He'll be able to get back at it. But what did I say? Let's see if we can see if Jacob Malone can beat Vincent Arthur here at the race this time. Guess who's out front? Jacob Malone, and now Vincent Arthur 1 and 3 as Kyle Rochelle is sticking his nose in where maybe it doesn't belong. Right now he's trying to get a little something going on there with the 27 Chevrolet to the outside. Cody Smith is now pushing Vincent Arthur. Arthur has the lead. Not bad here on lap number 65. Stage break will be at 72. 7 laps left to go here before we get our guys start counting down and coming away with some stage points. Vincent Arthur's all about that. See how well this goes. We'll talk to a driver from another race team down there and see kind of what their outlook is here on the race. There's a decent separation, though, once we get back there. Dylan Banks is sitting right here at the tail end of this field. Then we find Matthew George hanging out here almost by himself with the 88 and the 17 there of Cody Reeder. And we look back another 3 seconds and we find Tim Harper leading his little pile behind him. With Joey Stats, Jake Christenberry, all the way back to Braxton DeWeese. Moves us on to Nick Geilis. Geilis is out there with Josh Conover and Blade Timmons. Adam Kulikowski needs to get in the mix here somewhere, and there he is. Adam Kulikowski right now there with Everett Couts. And that should be the number 43 out there of Dakota Hendrickson. Does leave you scratching your head a little bit about where Cameron Thompson falls in the middle of all this. Cameron Thompson actually finishing lap number 65. Unfortunately, he is out in the middle of nowhere right now, trying to see where he can end up being. So you're looking for the number 41 dot, and you see him exiting the turn 2 there toward the top right of the screen. And he is all by himself. He came in on lap number 54. A couple of drivers did come down on 54 as well, Brady Motes and Conover. But Cameron Thompson was way off pace before he could catch him there. So hopefully we are able to see it, and that's one thing I would say is nice about having stages out here, is it'll clump these guys back together and say, all right, pit strategy has to be in sync here. We can't keep doing it. So hopefully that works out for the next round. Aaron Kralik, Jacob Malone, Vincent Arthur, Ryan Bird, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Moving on through, I think Cody Eldred would like to get up there and try to do some work. Let's hop on top of his race car and look at the shift when they come out of 4. Tires having a pretty good amount of mileage on them, about 32, 33 laps on these tires. Starting to feel a little bit of pressure now, starting to loosen up. I would say at a super speedway like this, whoever decided to make the banking the size of a track like this is a genius, because it comes away with some great races here. There's a little quick move there by Jacob Malone. This is going to move Malone into the lead as Kralik looks like he got shifted out. I don't know if that was on his own accord there, but it looked like something may have happened. Malone would love to get the stage win. As lap 72 is the mark we're looking for. This time by, we'll start lap number 70. And that should be working out really well. Notice how Banks and Patty are starting to work their way back up to the front. They're thinking stage points as well. Right now, there we go. All our green drivers starting to shift up here toward the front. It's almost done at will. As Dylan Banks hangs top side. Ooh, contact there with Rochelle. We're looking at that right as we were making contact side by side. Rochelle and Brian Jones get into it there. Dylan Banks now drops to 12th. Malone still hanging on the lead, though. Arthur giving a good push all the way to the end. I expect to see him make that move. And hopefully they don't kill each other coming to the line for stage points. All right, quick little peel off here. I believe that should be the 84 out here. Cody Height going to go ahead and let these guys run it out. And some of these drivers in the playoffs, this to them is the white flag here of the stage. And out front they go. Malone is up 17 positions here tonight. Another driver out there to gain even more is Cody Smith, and I expect to see Smith to try to do something. Smith starting to push Vincent Arthur. I would say Malone with the win here, and it looks like, oh my gosh, Vincent Arthur taken out, baby. That's it. Sitting 11th. It looks like his car is still in one piece as the caution comes out. The caution should have come out with Malone in the lead. And that'll end up going to him. I assume they're not doing old school rules where they need to race it to the line. And right now, Vincent Arthur will finish 15th here in the stage. And we'll see as he shuffles back up to the front here where this actually puts him. And see if he scored any stage points. It had to be at the line. All right, yellow flag comes out. And where is our guys here. Boy, you don't think Malone pit maneuvered him, do you? I'm hoping not. Malone was up toward the top here. And we're trying to see what exactly occurred, because Malone was down on the bottom. These guys split to the outside here. And when they split to the outside, it looked like Malone goes over for a block and then leaves. Very odd. It's going to bring me to Cody Eldred. Let me see if we can see what he sees here. Oh, man. All right. Well, that's easy to see. As you guys take a first-hand look at it here, Malone goes out to make the block. When he makes the block, Vincent Arthur makes contact with the back bumper. Watch the 20. So Vincent Arthur gets pulled to the side. 20 keeps his line, and Vincent Arthur tries to move back over and ends up pinching the two of them. Dylan Banks trying to get out of there as fast as he can. This right now is riding with Cody Eldred. Boy, interesting move, but it just goes to show you how close these guys do drive all together out there, and it causes a little bit of trouble. I don't see Jacob Malone. He didn't spin him out. He went out there for a little block. And I think when Vincent Arthur went to move, Cody Smith had already started pulling to the outside. So they will most likely call this a racing incident out there. We'll see how bad the damage is here to the number 24 Chevrolet. And hopefully we'll be able to see what happened out there. Boy, that definitely takes the wind out of his sails here tonight. Starting from pit, then gets up front. And I'm hoping that isn't a broken toe link I see there on the right front. That would definitely be a heartbreaker here for Vincent Arthur, as he may be teetering on the edge of elimination come next race if he does not do well at the road course. So Jacob Malone spending an extended amount of time in pit. And we'll see if this causes any more problems out there. And we may try to grab a hold of Jacob Malone out there and see what we can come up with. See what all he has to say. All right, let's see if we can grab a hold of him. Jacob Malone, you got a copy?
Yeah.
All right, man. We took a look here at the replay from your angle. What happened up there in the front?
I was going to make a block. I thought it was going to be too dumb, and so I bailed last second, and it caused a wreck.
Alrighty, well, when you go back and look at the broadcast here, I'm not 100% sure if that's the way everybody will see it. We saw you make the block, and it looked like, did Vincent Arthur make contact with your car out there?
Yeah, a little bit. So.
Okay. Okay, because what ended up happening is you pulled down to the bottom line. Vincent Arthur went to pull to the right, and Cody Eldred was sitting on his right quarter panel. And that ended up turning them both. So I don't see where any of this may have been your fault, other than the block that seemed to be perfectly legal, you know what I mean? The block to make him stop his momentum forward. Just kind of checked him up a little bit, and I don't think he knew that Cody Smith was there. So tough run here. I'm sure you're getting an earful for it, because I think you may be going for another win here. But did you end up finishing the stage in the top spot, or did it end up giving it to...
I finished second.
Okay, so it gave it to Brian Jones.
Or I got it and I just checked up. I might have checked up when the caution came out, which I think is what caused it. But you know, that was the second dumb mistake out of everything with the earlier issue with the blade. That was dumb. So yeah, I'm definitely struggling with high IQ moves at the moment. So just give me a little bit. I'll be there at the end, but I gotta lock in.
All right. No fear, buddy. Do what you got to do. I would say don't beat yourself up too much. We can see here from the eye in the sky, man. It doesn't look like anything you're doing wrong out there so far, so hang in there.
Yep.
All right, everybody, that's Jacob Malone. No favoritism shown here for Jacob Malone as he's still battling up toward the front. And he's getting ready to go back under green here to get this one settled up. No more stages after this. Guys have got to be really locked in, and they got to have their mind set and made up and talk to their pit crew, because they are going to be in a world of hurt here if they come down and pit incorrectly. Checking down out there, looks like we were able to fix the car out there of Vincent Arthur. As you see, the battle for the lead here is starting to push on through. No surprise here. Ryan Bird and Ryan Patty once again starting in the front row. Bird's going to get pushed out to the front, but by a boatload. Holy cow, still going as Blade Timmons. So 5 drivers here past Ryan Patty and the Geico machine. Ryan Patty last finished 3rd last time he was here, so he may have another setup here. I don't think Ryan Patty's interested in really pushing his luck so late into this race. So a couple of guys are going to be looking to see if they can fight. Guys driving, their hair is on fire. Vincent Arthur's going to be one of them. Taking a look here. Still some slight damage here to the right side of Vincent Arthur's machine. Get the drone footage out there. And marching on backwards is now going to be Dylan Banks. Banks now rolling back. He's probably going to tuck in behind the number 20 there of Cody Smith. Smith had helped him earlier here in this run. I think Jacob Malone was taking an EOL because he was unsure if that was his fault. I knew from us out there. Guys in the chat, go ahead and light it up. Tell me that last caution if I'm wrong. But it looked like the 69 made the block. Vinny came up and made contact. Jacob Malone pulled out of the way, and Smith was on the outside. I think Smith started having a run. Vinny wanted to resume back to that lane, and that lane was full. So we'll see how well that goes for those guys as they start all over again here from the back. Vincent Arthur has fought up to the front, now sitting 17th. Right now he doesn't want to lose the pack, though. As Brady Motes and Vincent Arthur here sitting side by side as the front pack is starting to try to get a little bit of separation. Right now somebody would like to start working his way up to the front as well is going to go to that McDonald's car there of Josh Conover. Nathan Brzezowski up to 10th now. So the 22 machine, we saw him up in the lead a couple of times. Got some chances out front. I would say if he wants to win it, he's going to need to do a last lap pass. Tim Harper get some better pit stop time out there. As I say that, he was down in the pits for 1 minute and 25 seconds last time he was down, and he still sits 6th. All right, checking out there in the chat. My wife's saying such a great color on the number 24 out there. And you can see the body work crew working out there very hard for Vincent Arthur to get him back out there and still remain competitive. As we cross the line to start lap number 79 here of the night. There's going to be some tough calls that need to be made out here. Just about every driver that came down pit road ended up getting tires. One of them, oddly enough, did not. Braxton DeWeese being one of them. DeWeese actually came down, spent 5.53 seconds in the pit. And right now you see him on the outside line. Once again, this almost seems like a redo here. DeWeese in the front. Jacob Malone sits second. And Cody Smith working his way up. This is insane right now. Seeing these guys work on it. Now remember, Beer Money Racing has Braxton DeWeese and Jacob Malone on it to go up there and meet what was our leader of Joey Stats, but then it looks like Stats is going to be marching back here as his two teammates fight to the front. I know as good as it looks, Vincent Arthur can't resist. He moves up to the top line as well, snugging in behind Blade Timmons. So right now, Jacob Malone's saying he may be in some trouble and he doesn't want to create any problems out there. He believes he's created problems with Blade Timmons and both Vincent Arthur, who now sit behind him. Say if there's any retaliation here. There's going to be here and now, but boy, you wouldn't want to do it here in the front. I'll probably say the best way you can do it is block this guy out, and he wouldn't have anything. Chris DeWeese saying, here we come, baby. Outside it is. Yes, it is. Braxton DeWeese currently sitting third, as he still remains on the outside there with Jacob Malone. Couple shifts in the front row there. Cody Smith, who now leads this race, cut in front of Ryan Bird. That allowed Timmons and Vincent Arthur to move his way up to the front. Boy, who was that with the blink? I hope that wasn't Rochelle again. Seeming to start getting worse out there. And we got a couple of things. I still think we got a large caution coming ahead, but hopefully it doesn't. I like seeing racing side by side out there, guys. Let me know if you agree out there in the chat. Do like talking to you. As we still remain way high up toward the top. DeWeese not interested in sharing any door draft out there. And somebody's starting to pop out. Right now, that's the 88 machine up there of Zach Hollinger. And Hollinger looking like he's going to go down a lap here. And unfortunately, that's going to put him back into to remaining in the 26th spot, a lap down. It looked like he spent about a minute down pit road. So the woes continue out there for the 88 Chevrolet. He was able to come up with something there. The driver is super happy about where his position is right now. The 84 machine of Cody Height currently holds the lead. Now this guy was a lap down, able to hang out there, get the lucky dog around, and here he is in the lead. Holy cow, if Height were able to win this one, you want to talk about an upset out there for the points. That would be huge out there for Height. Currently, he's sitting 9th, 3 below the line. If he gets a win, this puts him into second. And he is moving on to the final 4. No, excuse me, the final 8. Should be in the round of 12 currently. Get this one underway. I really want to see some drivers we haven't talked about much. Jake Christenberry being one of them. Was originally something going on there on lap number 8, causing our first caution here of the night. Any other caution we've had here tonight has been via stage. I guess you could say the one with Vincent Arthur and Cody Smith was not, as those two got into it. Speaking of Vincent Arthur, he's currently sitting 3rd. Malone has fought his way up to 8th. It does make me scratch my head a lot how guys can start from 17th to 20th, and they're up here in the top 10 again, if not the top 5. As you can see, Braxton DeWeese still getting pushed there, as the Beer Money Racing team now sitting currently 5, 7, and 8. Out there on the track, Jacob Malone would like to see Braxton DeWeese start moving down a little bit. Remerging back into the line. There in the back, you see Aaron Krolick. Right now, Jay out there is saying Appalachia strong. Yep. Everybody hanging out from Hurricane Helene. Everybody doing a great job out there. Everybody who still has power and still racing. Appreciate you guys being able to tune in. Even if you're sitting on a phone charger or in front of your TV here tonight with Cody Height leading this race. Braxton DeWeese looking to see if he can throw his hat in the ring and get a little more lead time out front. It continues on. And this race is really going to come down to the wire and how these guys are going to pit. highly concerned about coming in too early. I would say everybody would want to come in. Now, you want to talk about everybody. I would love to see 3/4 of this field come down on the same pit stop under green flag. You want to talk about mixing it up down there. So Braxton Deweese, Joey Malone, excuse me. Yeah, what's next? Jacob's stats? No, Jacob Malone and Joey's stats are sitting 1, 2, and 3. So Beer Money Racing taking over. Still looking for that KFR team. Or the KPR team of Dustin Kleba, Cody Reeder, and Brian Jones. Right now, I'm not seeing any of them here anywhere close. Kleba's currently down at 20th. Boy, oh boy. Malone already locked in. Remember, he did a 2-race sweep in round number 1. And he's trying to set himself up for a 2-race sweep in round number 2. He's got more wins in the playoffs than he had for the entire year. The entire regular season. So not bad here. Keep running out here. Now, a driver I want to say we want to hang out with. Let's check out Thomas Walter. Check out how he's doing. Check it when he's sitting inside this car. And this is what happens when you start seeing tire smoke and then you got nowhere to go. But you can see a little something as we go around the turn. There's our sea of cars. We rotate to our camera a little bit higher, which is a view I bet he wished he had. Set the camera right next to his helmet in there. He's sitting a little low in the car here tonight. Ooh. Somebody made a checkup here. Thomas Walter might be going ahead and letting these guys in. Notice the shuffle up toward the front. Somebody's making a shift. Right now it looks like somebody on that outside line is not happy. And right now I saw red and white. Normally you would think red and white, you circle behind Jacob Malone. Actually, that's going to go to Josh Conover, who's currently sitting 10th. Right now Conover's behind Timmons and George out there. Height still in front of that outside line. Right now it doesn't seem to be making any sort of a breakaway here. As Braxton Deweese, Jacob Malone. Oh, man. Outside line going to continue. They notice that didn't work. Shift back to the inside. And Jacob Malone gives a good shove here to Braxton Deweese. I'm sure he's talking to him saying, hey, pushing, 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 and look at that. Most guys hang back on a turn, but that is exactly what Jacob Malone doesn't do. He almost hangs back on the straightaways and then pushes you through the turn. So almost the exact opposite, and I think that may be some part of their success here tonight. But with 24 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, we are still 3 wide. Right now, remember we were talking about Josh Conover wanting to stay in a safe spot. You see him duck down toward the bottom, and that's what he does. That's going to leave Matthew George here to pinball here a little bit toward the center. Boy, great race here so far. I don't know about you guys. You starting to lean in that seat yet? About time. Right now, Braxton Deweese still in the lead, rotating on back. We're going to find somebody who's side by side. Blade Timmons. Now, Blade Timmons hasn't had a whole lot of luck here at this track. He seems to keep getting up front and then taking out right at the end. Hopefully that does not continue to happen for him here. Yeah, big names out here we haven't seen out here, especially at Talladega. Cody Dorsey, Kevin Gunther. Justin Moody not here. So a couple of big names. Scott Kerber, that's another driver we haven't seen. Ryan Ferraro, where in the world did he go? Hopefully we'll be able to see the number 13 in the highlighter car. Boy, hopefully he's able to return. So the battle still remains here up toward the front. Height Timmons sitting 1 and 2. Yeah, slide back down. That moves Ryan Patty back to 3rd. Fortunately, Ryan Patty pretty happy about that move up toward the front. That's going to leave Nathan Brzezowski and his 22 Ford to fight his way up to the front. Shouldn't be too hard, though, if he could get a little push from behind. From the 88 machine of Zach Hollinger. Unfortunately, a lap down, but could still play a big role in this run. Dylan Banks in the 48, still holding on that outside line in the Ally machine. He's still wanting to attack. It's going to be Vincent Arthur, but he hangs back here, it looks like on purpose, down in 16th, 17th spot. But the Flatline Motorsports guys are starting to gang up again. You see the 5, you see the 42, you see the 19, the 24. So there's still a possibility we're going to see guys starting to create another line and work their way up to the front. There's still that possibility. Can they do it? 22 laps left to go. Should be 21 here at the line. Great race here so far. Still, we remain looking for more drivers to come up with something out there. Right now, look at this. I mean, I think that's what's blowing my mind right now is how many people are still 3 wide. Brzezowski almost kind of teasing for the lead there. And now pit road. Here we go. Let's see who decides to come on down. I think Beer Money Racing working his way on down. Yep. That's going to be Malone, Height, DeWeese, Stats, and Cody Smith, of course. That leaves Height up into the front. With Blade Timmons at the rear. Crossing the line, 50 miles left to go. I believe you see Everett Couts going ahead and popping out. Moving to the side there to make sure he stays out of the way. Great job. Oh, it's a little act of kindness out there, but I assure you every driver appreciates that. Instead of you kind of tangling up dead center. Without the draft and not up to speed. 195 miles an hour these guys go, and unfortunately Everett Couts, I believe, is starting to come down pit road now. Cody Reeder at 38 miles an hour. Something tells me we're running out of gas here. Boy, you want, man. So the woes continue here for Cody Reeder as he sits in the 31st position. Coming in to hopefully get fuel and get back out there. Not being under your own power costs a boatload of time here. Now, right now, guys who do get up in the front start panicking. And moves start getting made that shouldn't be. All right, firing into pit road here. It's probably easier to say who didn't come down. Dustin Kleba, Jake Christenberry, Vincent Arthur, and Adam Kulikowski. These guys did not come down pit. That's going to definitely shuffle it up yet again. Quick pit stop for these guys. Right now we'll see Kleba, Christenberry, Arthur, and Kulikowski come down, I'm sure as a club, with all 4 of them. So we may be looking at these guys back in the lead. And right now that would be the call here of the night if they are able to do it. Look at everybody getting back up to speed as they are already at full speed. Can they keep churning through and get past them? The driver who is out front of that pile is Adam Kulikowski. Excuse me. Adam Kulikowski. Nah, Adam Kulikowski's actually coming down into pit road currently. There's Kyle Rochelle, Joey Stats, and that moves us to Dylan Banks. Banks, Blade Timmons, Cody Height, and Nathan Brzezowski. Right now, they're the only ones who have a possibility of reaching out there and touching them. They need to make up about a second here to catch them. You're going to see our times reset since we're passing everybody who came down pit road and shuffle this up again. Right now, Vincent Arthur's feeling the pain. So Jack O'Brien rooting on the Wake Up Narcolepsy car the 24 Chevrolet of Vincent Arthur. He may have to conjure up a little bit of Jeff Gordon energy out there and see if he can get back up, because Vincent Arthur has now dropped down to the 22nd position. So a little less on the pit road strategy there. A little lacking, but that's going to hurt a little bit. And now Dylan Banks. I think he's going to come up here and try to play. 3 drivers in the playoffs in the top 10. There we go. Jack O'Brien out there still rooting on the 24, not backing down at all. Right now, Vincent Arthur was involved in the lap 71 caution out there, which I'm sure he was not happy about. So caught back up with him, Dylan Banks, Blade Timmons, who were sitting on that outside line. Woo! Like Braxton Deweese got a little push he didn't like there. That's going to allow the 48 to pick up some speed. Yeah, I hate to see that. I'm rather Braxton Deweese shoot off to the inside. That just allowed Dylan Banks to get a little bit of a draft. Now he's going to have a run here to the outside. So Banks, Timmons. I think Height's going to try to come into the picture as he sits third. Fastest time of the night here for Cody Height at a 48:36. Last lap. Did go much slower this time around, about 1.2 slower. At a 49:54 last lap. 15 laps left to go. As they pass past the Sunoco sign, they continue down the backstretch here and still have a decent amount of separation. Almost 2 seconds before they can find Ryan Bird, who sits currently in our 10th spot. But Aaron Kralik doing his best to be the best bulldozer that he can to see if he can push that 49 to catch up. Jay out there rooting on Cody Height. Height has a good chance of winning this race as he sits third. That's always a great place to be. Notice how the back of the field here is starting to separate yet again. Drivers like Dustin Kleba and Josh Conover are out there. Right now is everybody starting to squeeze together. This is almost going to be a joke here at a moment as how they separated they were. The groups have caught each other, and whatever the pit road strategy, it really doesn't matter. Because they're going to be working either their way forward or their way backwards. All right, I guarantee you we're slinging it 3 wide up toward the front here again. As Jacob Malone is not leaving Braxton Deweese there on the outside. Cody Smith looking to see if he can make up some ground. Notice the separation from all of our drivers. Smith making a decent separation here. We're going to see that should have been Joey Stats right behind him. That does allow the 16 to Dustin Kleba to squeeze in. Kleba moving very blocky, not very smooth. We all know Kleba's not on a controller here. He's almost driving like it. He better be careful. All right, notice how Matthew George is going to give a shove there to Josh Conover. Conover not going to reel closer. There to Dustin Kleba. Lap traffic on the outside. That's going to be trouble for Christenberry, who's caught. Christenberry needed to rotate down. Got to drive past the hood there, buddy. You look out. All right, still 2 wide. Only 3 wide there in the back for the Ryan Patty area and Brady Moats. Brady Moats right now currently 19 Chevrolet sitting 19th. And right now Brady Moats needs to not erase his last race where he gained many, many points. All right, hopefully they don't kill each other. Back up to the front. If Malone didn't give up on his teammate, and neither did he. That's going to be what right now, Beer Money Racing back in the front. And I've got to say, guys, if you're writing down in a notebook here, right now, our top 4 guys you see on that outside line are Beer Money Racing, and all on the bottom line, we're seeing Flatline Motorsports. And this has been a long time coming as these guys come to the line with 11 to go here at Talladega. I would say 2.5 miles churning away pretty quick as lap traffic is coming up. Looking to see, I believe that may be Nick Giles is who's going to be on the chopping block here. Looking back at the field, starting to play catch-up. Right now, currently, Nick Gillis is running at 179, 180 miles an hour, and they are catching him at 198. Right now, Gillis not peeling off here. He's going to keep rotation. Outside line going to prevail on this one. But this may help our drivers start reeling them in here and try to see if they can move through. Look at him fighting here in the back. Oddly enough, they're loving this single file here toward the front as around the Matthew George area still remains 3 wide. Jacob Malone up toward the front. And contact. Contact heading to the inside. It looks like Aaron Krolick involved. Driver sliding up the track is Cody Height. Yellow flag comes out. If you guys are tuned in to Cody Height's stream over there, go ahead and give me a transcript over here in the chat of what he's saying. Just leave out most of the curse words and I'll laugh. We'll all laugh about it. And we'll take a check here. See if we can tune into what they're saying.
It was.
Alright, looks like we're just catching the end of the chatter out there.
I moved up to the top, but I was up there for a while.
How the fuck can you spin out by yourself on a fucking track plate?
Alright. That's Tim Harper, not too happy.
Pace truck going into 3.
On over calling out where the pace truck is. And this is going to be a shootout here at the end. Love to see it. This is going to be excellent here. But I do have to say, Zach Hollinger,
Josh said the pace truck's in like 3 and 4.
Tim Harper are going to be our guys. Who ended up in this last caution. Hoping Blade Timmons wasn't caught up in it as well. As I believe he was. What did I tell you? This guy's up front. And then gets taken out right at the end. Alright, Jay out there saying he's something about holding the line. Yeah, I would say. I would say something happened. So let's check in on Cody Height, who's currently heading down pit road, which might offset this a little bit if these guys decide to take tires. I don't think it's going to matter, but it's worth a shot. So we'll see as they come down pit road. We'll take a look at our yellow flag here. Ooh, Cody Height, look out. Don't think this is where it actually started. We'll see if I can find something a little more overhead and a little sooner. Possibly around where Brady Moats ended up in some trouble. Whoa. Why? Yeah, because I thought this was Krolick and the 01 up here. Oof. Krolick gets shoved by who? The 88? So the 88 machine of Zach Hollinger is a couple laps down here. Hammers into the back of Krolick. Gets caught up, catches Height, catches Blade Timmons. Brady Moats doesn't see that Gillis is below him there and gets himself turned. I'll say, where's Timmons going? Looks like he's able to save it here, though. Nope. Boom. And I think that does it for Timmons out there. Are they still wrecking? Let's take another look at it here. Zach Hollinger gets back onto the track, but then loses control again? Holy cow. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, you heard Tim Harper giving us a little cussing lesson there. And now you know why. Tim Harper is backwards here on the track. And he thought he was out of it. Nothing was happening. Let's take another look at it here. Saying you think you're clear. Yeah, I was gonna say, once the caution came out, 88 wasn't going for any positions. So, yeah. Well, that's gonna be quite unfortunate here, to say the least. All right, so hopefully we were able to do this caution-free all the way to the end. Only 2 cautions here tonight have been unplanned. Starting in the front row, we'll go to Braxton DeWeese and Jacob Malone. Oop, a little blink out there by Kyle Rochelle. Right now, Beer Money Racing doing an awesome job. Everybody from 14th on back, I believe, came down pit road. 15th on back, where Adam Kulikowski starts as the Choose Cone car is on a rush back to pit road, who might be the safest place to be. Checking on some of our pit stop times, 4 tires and fuel for most. Some of them even spending more time than that trying to fix some of that damage. Josh Conover is hoping for a good finish here tonight, sitting 10th. Ryan Patty will be to his inside. And right now, this is huge here for Beer Money Racing. Seeing they're currently sitting 1-2, and I believe 6th. It's an awesome job. Right now, Cody Smith trying to work his way into the Beer Money Racing team with his performance tonight. Pace truck working its way on down pit road. Braxton DeWeese waiting for that go restart zone. We'll get back underway here in just a moment. Here we go. Geico restart zone. We are back under green. All right, we see you guys starting to shuffle up already, starting to make a couple quick moves. And notice how the shoving does not stop. 15 miles left to go here in this race. And hopefully they're all clean. Right now I see Kyle Rochelle trying to see if he can make a lane of his own. No passing below the yellow line. That is against the rules. You cannot do that. So you have to pass everything above, and that's why you see most drivers do decide to hang down there on the bottom and close to the yellow line as a blockade. Take a look right here as Jacob Malone, Braxton DeWeese, Cody Smith are on that outside line. Still keeping a good battle here, as right now Malone does have the lead coming to the line. Right now he is hoping he can go 2 for 2 here in the round of 12. Keep this kind of roll going here. Tom Senchak is sitting in second. Josh Conover third. Vincent Arthur fourth in the points. Senchak currently sitting sixth. So he'll have a good points night if he can finish here. Right now, Jacob Malone has got to figure out how to be as wide as a train car. Here's some trouble here in the back. Brzezowski gets an unfavorable shove there. Looks like Aaron Krolick. Krolick there to the outside, not happy about that move. I think Dylan Banks is going to go out there and offer some assistance. Right now, peel off down toward the bottom. Joey Stats blocking the low line. Where does Malone decide to go? I would guess that Malone would decide to hang on the outside line here, but the inside line is getting the momentum. 4 to go. Right now they are side by side, even at the bumper. Stats now has the lead. As we are 3 wide there in the back. Notice Kristen Berry down on the bottom. Kristen Berry needs to make up that gap And start reeling in Dustin Kleber, or he's going to end up in some trouble here. He's leaving way too much room to be wanted there. 3 laps to go. Still 3 wide. We do see puffs of smoke out there. Guys are starting to make contact. 49 machine of Ryan Bird to the outside. 3 wide here. At least 4 rows back. Right now, still coming into the picture is Vincent Arthur as he's fought his way up to 16th. Still looking for an area. Kyle Rochelle, there's the big one. Here it comes. Around they go. Ryan Bird involved. Dustin Kaleba looks like he got a bad shove there into Kyle Rochelle. This will bring us our first green-white checkered. And we're going to have to restart and line them up again. Kaleba not happy. Tires are overheated. And he is not going to be able to get any kind of contact out there with that. Boy, heartbreaking run here. Boy, I hate to see this right at the end. Let's take another look at it. As we had trouble up here, around the Kyle Rochelle area, you see him sitting up there currently 3rd. So as we speed this up, here's Rochelle making contact here with Braxton. As he backs it up a little bit, rotates up. And I think Kaleba gets into him here as Kyle Rochelle swipes back down. Brake check into Christenberry. And then that's all she wrote. Then we got the stack up. Even Christenberry gets involved in this one. You notice how he's ricocheting off Conover. And look at the drivers try to spread. They do say going down low is the safest place to be, but that's when you got bullets like this coming in of Cody Height. Oh, man! That was a close cut. I think that was actually Cameron Thompson. Taking a look at it here. Cameron Thompson is able to escape. Watch how close. Alrighty, interesting run here. Cody Height now down into the pits. Drivers who are also down in the pits, let's go ahead and name them off. Tom Senchak and Aaron Krolick. Cody Height and Cody Smith. Number 20 is down pit road. Dustin Kaleba working his way down pit. It looks like he's dog tracking pretty bad here. And that may be half his problem. So I expect to see Kaleba probably take it back to the garage here tonight. As 25th will be most likely where he finishes. And Zach Hollinger, who's still in pit road here, is revisiting for the 8th time here tonight. And a few more retirees back to the garage. Blade Timmons did retire. So did Everett Couts. Blade Timmons left at 103. Everett Couts at 90. And Dakota Moniz at lap 17. So we'll see if anybody is able to exit pit road here. Cody Smith, yes. And Aaron Krolick, yes. So these guys are still able to move. It should really blow the minds of our guys here in the front. Jake Christenberry, who was able to maintain, I would say, I better be careful. Looking at what happened here, and I don't want to point fingers, but this is the second caution Christenberry has been in where he has survived. Now, right now, we're on top of his car sitting behind Dustin Kaleba's. Here's the brake check. Sending it to the inside here, and it looks like Kaleba holds his line, and that's my only concern here, is if Christenberry doesn't plead fault at this like Malone did, but I'm not sure. Right now, it looks like Christenberry still holds his line, though, if we kind of compare it to our guys in first and second here. Christenberry still maintains. Gets loose as the 16, and then Christenberry's into him here. sends him on around. He hits the wall. Smith splits in front of him. And then Christenberry just tries to maintain. A lot of smoke, a lot of cars everywhere. Alrighty. Well, that was a wreck that started in the top 5, and normally when you're looking for the big one, that's it. Huge names get knocked out of this one, and way, way to the back. And hopefully we were able to definitely keep these guys okay. And we'll see out there with what's going on. Juice Cone car running away. Joey Stats and Jacob Malone will start in the front, along with Braxton DeWeese and Kyle Rochelle. Ryan Patty will start 5th. Right now, that gives us at least 4 rookies here, sitting in the top 5. And Malone looking to try to see if he can squeak out a win here. Out of all of Beer Money Racing, Jacob Malone is the only one in the playoffs. I would question if Joey Stats would check up and let Malone sling through. I don't know if Dustin Kaliba's having a problem back here. Yeah, he's still crab walking. That vehicle's torn up, boy. I don't think he's going to end up taking it back. He's going to have to tow this time. Alrighty. Here we go. Back under green. 2 to go at the line. We got to get 1 complete lap here to get the white flag. Right now, this is a guarantee. This is not the situation Jacob Malone wanted to be in. As Josh Conover sits 8th. Ooh, a little bump there by the 18 of Brian Jones. Trying to enforce his will to move forward and keep going. Vincent Arthur now up to 11th. Tom Senchak was involved in that last wreck. Senchak currently sitting 23rd. That's almost going to erase his last finish. Hopefully he can keep going here. Up to the front. And now Stats, Braxton DeWeese. Jacob Malone now sitting 3rd. White flag this time by. Looks like everybody's going to be clear. Here we go. We're about to learn about the Alabama Miles. Sliding down into 3rd is Jacob Malone, low line. Outside line is going to be led by Jake Christenberry. Christenberry could use the win. I don't know if they'll wipe it away if they end up finding out he was cause of these cautions here, but Christenberry gets knocked out. Moving on around, Brian Jones starting to lead that outside line. Now it's not. Josh Conover. And the entire outside line has blown to pieces and absolutely useless now. Vincent Arthur now up to 7th. From 11th to 7th, not too bad as he's still pushing Adam Kulikowski. Quick waiting on the pass here. We're going to shift up to the front. There's the shift to the outside. 56 of Ryan Patty. He's not going to have enough of a run. Jacob Malone switches to the outside. Look out, Malone! Here he comes. Coming to the line here. And leading is DeWeese, Stats, and Malone, 1, 2, and 3. All drivers here from the Beer Money Racing team finished 1, 2, and 3. That is huge. Holy cow. So Chris DeWeese out there, you better be jumping for joy, as Braxton DeWeese is your winner here tonight. Great points night for Jacob Malone, though. Adam Kulikowski coming away with a 4th position, and Vincent Arthur placing 5th. All right, I do want to rotate back and see what happened back here, as it looks like there's yet another pile up here at the end. what happens as they come around single file here. Here's we're 3 wide again. But it's going into turn number 3 that the mess starts. Matthew George moves down to the bottom. Oh, there's the contact up here. Dylan Banks has got caught up. And I think that's Cody Eldred in the 15. Banks moves down a little bit, tries to get back in, but gets caught on Rochelle's rear bumper. Holy cow. And Dylan Banks kind of eliminates himself, but he rotates back up the track and takes out height. Wow. All right, and then not only that, then we rotate up to Bird, who's end up crushed to pieces here. And then the race to the line, which was fantastic here. As you see Stats bumping off his own teammate here at the line. Beats him by half a car. All right, Chris DeWeese out there saying, woohoo, that's 2 wins at Talladega in a row. Not bad. Great teamwork, great broadcast. Appreciate you, Chris. We tried to do our best out there and definitely make something of it. But boy, these guys take these guys by storm and do an awesome job, or what? What an excellent run here tonight, and we'll definitely see how all this how this all boils down. But hold on just a moment. Let me run them down, and we'll have a chat with them. Alrighty, everybody, catching up with our 3rd place finisher, Jacob Malone. What an awesome job here for the Buc-ee's machine to come back in for another podium position. Not the win, though. We were hoping, you were kind of thinking we might go 3 for 4 out of this deal. But talk to me about this run, especially right here at the end.
You know, at the end there, once I got in line with my 2 teammates, it was kind of just, you know, bring one in for beer money racing. Don't wreck each other. You know, I really enjoyed working with Braxton and Joey. Great fun race with them. You know, very much. We just worked together the whole race, and so I was cool finishing 3rd with them, just kind of just riding it out, blocking for them if need be. So it was a lot of fun though to have beer money racing 1, 2, 3, and you know, being able to bring it home as a whole.
All right, man, it's hard. There's always plenty to say about Talladega, but I always say when it's restrictor plate racing, guys side by side with pack racing, you never know what's going to happen. But next week we move to the Roval. Some guys are road guys, some guys are speedway guys. You know, how do you feel moving into a road course after this?
I'm excited for it. It's probably one of the most excited races I've been for the playoffs as a whole. I like the Roval a lot. It's one of my better tracks, especially on road courses. And you know, with what happened at the Glen, and of course course, Coda, and a couple other road courses where I had speed and stuff, and then Glen I won. But this is probably a bit more of a confident section. Of course, we're gonna Ryan to battle against, and a couple other people. Of course, gonna have speed. But I'm confident going into the race. I'm excited for it, and I don't really have to worry as much about it because I am locked into the next round, which I'm very excited for. We're getting into the meaty parts of the playoffs.
All right. And last thing before I get your shout-outs here. With Vincent Arthur placing 5th here tonight, and yes, you are locked in, how nervous are you moving into the round of 8, seeing that the points are getting tighter and tighter as we go?
The points, they're going to get tighter. Like, yeah, that's true, but I feel like it's just who can win now. Like, once we get to the round of 8, if you win, I mean, you're good. And, consistency is going to matter. You want to finish 2nd, get those, just finish top 3. Yeah, stages are going to be important heavily for the next round. Those will make or break whether you make the championship race or not. Yeah, there's a lot of things you need to be worried about, especially going to the round of 8, because it's multi-tracks. Anything can happen. We saw just like this race where we had some big ones, some minor little spins here and there. It can make or break your race.
Yeah, and that it can, and the Roval can do just that. One bad turn, sling into the tires, and then that you may be in a world of hurt out there, almost as bad as Dustin Klupa's car was crab walking here at the end. Jacob Malone, shout-out time.
I want to shout out Cody Smith. He was working with me quite a bit there. He was fun to work with. I want to shout out my teammates for being there when I needed them, especially for pushes, clean air, just stuff like that. Beer Money Racing for the win. Said to go, but we got that. And I want to shout out my family for watching, and the guys at NORA for putting on this race and you streaming it.
All right, appreciate it, buddy, and great job racing out there. And we'll see what comes down the pike after this race, because this is going to be, I would say, probably the easiest race before we start getting to the harder tracks. And who knows, you might have to start practicing for Phoenix soon.
Yeah, that's a track I got to learn.
Yep. Oh, you better. And I was going to say, because the guys who make the Final Four every year, they've got that down packed. So you got to make sure you get it. Jacob Malone, congratulations, man. Didn't come away with a win, though. I think if you had the win here tonight, you would actually have more in the playoffs than you did the regular season. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. And congratulations on your 3rd place finish.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. All right, Jacob Malone, fantastic job, though. Don't get to talk to Joey Stats very much as we move up to our 2nd place finisher of Joey Stats in the 96 Ford. Dude, what a run here.
Oh yeah, it feels good. My team got 1, 2, 3. Feels really good.
Man, talk to me about how do you guys work together and how Cody Smith somehow got in the mix with you guys.
Yeah, I really appreciate Cody. He worked well with us all night, and it was just kind of happened during the race. It wasn't even pre-planned or anything, so that was great. Yeah, we were just kind of trying to control both lanes with 3 cars. That worked out really good, and then on that last restart, Braxton pushed me so well there at the end.
Man, and you guys even bumped doors right there at the line. Did you want the win bad?
Oh yeah, I wanted. I was going to hit him. I wasn't scared to.
Well, I heard this is making it a back-to-back race win for him here with NORA. Talk to me about kind of how this is helping shape and form your team here, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll definitely help move us forward. Keeping Malone being the only one in the playoffs for us right now since Braxton came on late and I missed a decent bit of the year. But yeah, just kind of trying to help him and keep him moving forward and keeping his chin up and eyes forward and try to make a good playoff run to Phoenix and maybe even get a championship.
Yeah, that would be something to see you guys come away with that. And especially team-wise, this is huge for you guys. Coming 1, 2, 3, that is going to be a huge points gain. Unfortunately, like you were saying, both you guys kind of missed a good chunk of the season. Jacob was the poor guy out there all by himself. But will we see all you guys at the Roval?
No, Jacob will be the only one there for the Roval. But then Braxton, I'm not sure what his schedule looks like for the end of the year, but I will definitely be back after the Roval.
All right. Well, definitely we hope so. I know Jacob Malone could use the instruction and the help out there. Definitely with how to handle certain situations out here on the track, and especially with some of the things that we do see out there. Joey, what made we had a great race with you here tonight, and how you were able to push up to the front. Was it kind of planned that, for all you guys to end up on the outside lane and shoot up to the front?
As the race went on and we all kind of got together, we just, stuck together and went where each other were, and it kind of worked out. And then, there at the end, we ended up pretty much controlling the end of the race amongst ourselves, and which is perfect. That's exactly what you want as a team owner.
Yeah, and that definitely works out. But not only as an owner, man, you did a great job here tonight. You put the 96 Ford into the second spot, and especially since you qualified outside the top 10, and you still came in and had an awesome finish, man. Great job here tonight. Go and give me your shout-outs while I got you here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'd like to shout out my team, Deweese and Malone, for working so well together this race. They definitely put the work in all evening. And then I better shout my wife out for putting up with me while I do this and the time that it takes to do it.
Good idea. I love the way you think. All right, man. Congratulations on your finish, and hopefully we'll see you after the Roval.
Yep, thank you. Thanks for the broadcast and everything, too.
Oh, not a
Appreciate
problem,
it.
buddy. Not a problem. All right, that is going to Joey Stats in the number 96 Ford. Fantastic job. But now that's going to move us. Say the 96 is what I programmed. I see 52 on the side of the car. But we'll go ahead and move on to Braxton Deweese here, which what an excellent race here tonight. Man, did you think you had it all the way to the end? Uh-oh. Braxton. Uh-oh. I see his mic lighting up, but we are not communicating.
All right, how about now?
Oh, beautiful.
There we
God.
go. It was muted. I'm an idiot.
Awesome.
But all in all, what I was really trying to do there was push Joey there as much as I could, try to stay out there. With the beer money guys, I wanted to make sure we got the best finishes that we could, and being in the spot I was, being able to push, able to, put a lot in my hands of be able to push Joey and try to get out there, like I said. So I'm glad we were able to get out there, and I'm also glad that Jacob was able to be there as well. And it was about halfway through the tri-oval, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to pull out just to see. I'm not really expecting. So I did, and then I side drafted, and I was like, well, this is actually going to be a lot closer than I expected. And it stayed second and first for a while, as in me second and Joey first, and then all of a sudden it updated and it got me first. I was like, wow, that was pretty surprising. So glad to be able to pull off that move to where, Joey and I had a photo finish, but we're ultimately also able to finish first, second, with no problem. So, just ultimately a good night, and a big shout out to Joey for letting me race with them guys. So, pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome job here, man. You've really been kicking it here the past couple of weeks. I would say a heck of a lot better finish than we had last a couple weeks ago. I think you actually ended up, if I'm not mistaken, you were 2 laps down, I believe. Last time I looked, where you finished. Back here at Kansas last week, you finished 20th with 2 laps down, and then come away with a win here tonight. Is this was last race a fluke, or is this you starting to gain momentum here?
I felt like I had a little bit of pace last week in Kansas. It's just I started in the back, had to try to work my way up, got in a little wreck, had to start in the back again. I believe we got an even bigger wreck and had to come fix some damage. And I think it was either that was it, and I just couldn't bounce back from that or anything to try to get up to the front, or I think I ended up making a mistake on pit road. I don't know. I made a couple mistakes last week in my leagues, which is usually kind of rare for me, just like pit road wise and stuff. So it might have been that. But all in all, I felt like, if we ran more races, I felt like we could run pretty well. I'm not too knowledgeable on the next gen car, so I'm trying to run them a little bit more to try to figure them out. Granted, it's at Talladega and it's kind of full throttle. You can still, figure out the draft and how it all works. So, it's still a learning experience either way. And like I said, very glad to Joey was able to take a chance on me for these 2 races that I ran, and glad we were able to get the win.
All right, man. Awesome job here. From what Joey's telling me, there's you will not be attending the Roval here next run.
No, I will not be. I'm not too sure. Like he said, he wasn't too sure what the schedule looks like. I got to look at my schedule as well. So, I'm in a league just from previous. It's been a couple months I've been running that, and I've been committed to that. So, I came over here for a couple off weeks just to, just kind of go around, just trying to keep myself busy. Even though I practically race every day, but it's always nice to try to keep on top of it. Like I said, hopefully if I have another off week or something on Tuesdays, I can come in here before the season ends. But I don't know what next season will hold or what we can get into. But if this is it, I feel like we had a pretty good run. So glad we can end it off on a win and a 1-2-3 for beer money.
Yeah, no kidding. And hopefully we'll be able to see you at either Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville, or Phoenix. There isn't much of the season left, and I'm sure everybody will be kind of on edge here, especially waiting. I don't know if we'll sling into next year with an unknown here moving on for the National Oval Racing Association here. With you coming over, compared to other leagues, I hate putting people on the spot like this. How are these guys when you race around them? I mean, is everybody pretty respectable out there? Or is everybody helpful? Or is it every man for himself and get out of the way?
I feel like if you don't really have teammates, it's kind of, every man for himself. But, that's just with all the leagues, I feel like, in general. Joey was saying how we were working good with Cody there. And, he's not even affiliated with us. So, I thought that was pretty cool. We were able to, join up with a couple guys. And fortunately, I wasn't caught up in any of the wrecks, so I didn't really look back at them and, see or anything. But, all in all, it's gone pretty smooth. Kansas, we had a couple rough goes, but that's okay, we were just in a bad spot at a bad time, so it is what it is. But it'll happen. But like I said, it was pretty chill. I didn't go back and watch, so it could be totally different to what I'm saying. But from my experience, I thought it was pretty fun.
All righty, Mr. Deweese, appreciate you, buddy. Congratulations on your win. You want to shout out any of your sponsors, the people out here watching you?
Most definitely. Big shout out to the main sponsor on the car, Interstate Ford. We've been running pretty well with them recently, and I hope to keep that up in our upcoming races, and hopefully we can run for a championship in a couple of our other leagues with them on the car too. So big shout out to Interstate Ford, as well as Ounce Arts Images, Bennett's Biblical, Jane's on Main, Luis Renovations, Booth 34 Diecast, Unrivaled Photography, Blaze Designs, as well as Evan Pineda Designs. They didn't design this car. It was all on Joey, so big shout out to him. But those are my other designers for all the other leagues that I run. And also big shout out to Bully Dog Coffee Company. If you want, you can use Rex5 for 10% off over there on your order. So I appreciate him, and I appreciate you for doing the broadcast, and appreciate everybody that runs the National Oval Racing Association. And hopefully I can come back soon.
All right, Braxton Deweese, congratulations on your win, buddy, and I will definitely see you at the next race.
I appreciate it, man. Have a great rest of your week.
You too. All right, everybody, Braxton Deweese, what a great run it was for him here tonight. And this is really going to be an awesome run here for the rest of the upcoming season that we see. This being the second race of round of 12. Next will be at the Charlotte Roval. Only 65 laps there, but I would say it's one of the most fun tracks out there. Some of these guys can make or break their race. They can actually turn their entire season around when they get to a road course of something like this. Next time you guys are tuned in here, we may have Stellar or Christian Snyder. Don't forget to watch out. We've also got the Bandit Racing League tomorrow. USORL will be continuing on for Thursday and Saturday here for the moment, as their playoffs are coming to an end very soon here. October 17th, that is. So we will miss us this week, and we'll move on to their finals the week after. So much, much closer. We'll be closing up a lot of these leagues, and they'll be coming to a quick end. But that's going to do it for us here at Simtrax Broadcast and bring you the National Oval Racing Association. Be well, be safe, be kind, and I'll see all you guys next time.